Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
So today we're digging into something pretty interesting. You sent over a book from, wow, 1919. Rosetta Dunigan's Como ter sucesso, or How to Succeed.
Yeah, quite a throwback. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much has really changed about, what it takes to succeed.
Exactly. Success means different things to everyone, obviously.
Yeah.
And a century is a long time. But our mission today is to kind of pull out the core ideas from Dunigan's work.
See what still resonates, what timeless principles might still be useful for you, the listener, today.
Right. So let's jump in. One of the first things that jumps out is her focus on, well, small things.
Mm-hmm.
She says, those acts that form the influence of a person are small things, but they have this potential, good or bad.
It's that cumulative effect, isn't it? Like tiny actions stacking up over time.
Yeah, like compound interest, but for habits or influence.
Exactly. Compound interest is a great analogy. Small bits of effort, small kindnesses, small bits of learning, they build up.
It pushes back against that idea of just waiting for the big break.
Definitely. She gives that example of the merchant, right? The one who's super meticulous about even tiny errors.
Yeah, that attention to detail, those little consistent actions. That's the foundation.
It suggests progress comes from, well, just doing the small stuff consistently, not waiting around for some huge opportunity to fall into your lap.
Which feels relevant, especially if you're trying to absorb knowledge effectively. Little bits add up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, so then there's this other, maybe more surprising point. Failure.
Yes, failure. Not usually the first thing you think of when you talk about success.
Right, but Dunigan says pretty clearly, failure is a stepping stone to success. She even suggests people succeed more through failing.
That is quite a statement. It sounds a bit like, modern ideas about growth, mindset, resilience.
Does she explain how it works? How failure helps?
Well, she argues that messing up, failing repeatedly, it can actually awaken energy.
Awaken energy, like it fires you up.
Yeah, like the setback itself makes you more determined to try again, maybe try differently. It's not about aiming to fail, obviously, but using it.
And she mentions big names, right? Shakespeare, Raphael, suggesting even they had doubts.
Right, which humanizes them, I think. It suggests that internal struggle might actually be part of the process for, well, almost everyone who achieves something significant.
It implies failure teaches things you just can't learn from a book or, someone telling you.
Exactly. That hands-on, sometimes painful experience. She uses Booker T. Washington as an example, too, how he used small opportunities after facing big setbacks.
It definitely makes you look back at your own bumps in the road differently, doesn't it?
It does. Maybe the key isn't avoiding failure, but getting really good at learning from it. What did you actually gain from that tough experience?
Okay, moving on. Character. She spends a lot of time on this. Specifically, manners versus true politeness.
That's a really interesting distinction she makes.
What is it exactly?
Well, manners can be just, surface level, following the rules. But true politeness, for Dunigan, comes from something deeper, like genuine kindness and consideration.
So it's internal, about actually caring about the other person's comfort.
Yeah, she links it to the golden rule, doing unto others, which sometimes means, putting their needs ahead of your own convenience, a bit of self-sacrifice.
So it's not just saying please and thank you?
No, it's more fundamental. It's about respect, empathy, not needing to boast or put others down to feel important yourself. True dignity, she suggests, is quiet.
And this connects to success how?
Well, think about it. Who do you trust? Who do you want to work with? People who treat others with genuine consideration, right? It builds relationships, opens doors, your character, your reputation. It matters.
That makes sense. Okay, this next one was pretty interesting too. Poverty and adversity.
Right. She doesn't romanticize being poor, let's be clear.
No, definitely not. But she does suggest that hardship, facing difficult circumstances, it can forge character.
It's that idea that challenges force you to dig deep, find strength you didn't know you had. Resilience, resourcefulness.
She mentions lots of famous people came from tough backgrounds.
It suggests adversity can build that energetic and self-reliant quality she talks about.
But she makes a key distinction, doesn't she? Between being poor financially and
poverty of the mind, yes. That, she says, is the real tragedy. Lack of curiosity, lack of desire to learn, regardless of your bank balance.
So even with little money, you can still have these intangible riches, like appreciating nature, learning.
Exactly. And adversity is also, well, a test. It shows your true character, and it definitely shows you who your real friends are.
Which leads kind of naturally into the opposite, selfishness.
Ah, the vice of selfishness. She doesn't mince words there.
No, she paints it as living like the whole world exists just for you.
And that, she argues, cuts you off. It shrinks your ability to care about others, to be generous. It kills trust, basically.
It sounds like it poisons everything, even if you start out with good intentions. If it's always me first.
Right. It focuses all your energy inward on personal gain and makes it hard to build those connections we were just talking about. She compares it to frost killing a bud. Pretty strong image.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so if adversity builds character, she also talks about just enduring hardship, like it's necessary.
Seems so. She sees trials as sort of baked into life, not just random bad luck, and they actually serve a purpose in shaping us.
She uses that analogy of a sword, right? Being forged in fire.
Exactly. Hammered and heated to become strong. The difficult stuff, the challenges, they refine us, make us more resilient if we let them.
And she notes that joy and sorrow are often kind of mixed together in life.
And that experiencing the tough times can actually give you a broader perspective, maybe more empathy.
It's not about liking the hardship, but finding strength in facing it.
Right.
Resisting discouragement.
Right. That idea that every Calvary, every really tough spot holds the potential for an eventual Mount of Olives, some kind of uplift or learning.
She really hammers home that adversity is the touchstone of character.
Yeah, it reveals what you're made of. And it's where virtues like, say, contentment or forgiveness are really developed. You don't learn patience when everything's easy, right?
No, definitely not. It's like a school of virtue, she says.
And she uses another beautiful image, the musician stretching the strings to make harmony. The tension is necessary for the music.
Wow. So even when things are really bad, there's an inner strength that can be a light.
That's the idea. That resilience, that core character can guide you.
Okay, then she talks about true dignity of mind. What's that distinct from, say, just being proud?
Well, true dignity, in her view, is modest. It's about doing the right thing because it's right, not because you want applause or recognition.
So it's internal again, based on your own principles.
Exactly. And it's connected to kindness, to wanting to help others, alleviate suffering. It's not about puffing yourself up.
And she says this kind of dignity, built over time, can't really be taken away easily.
Right. Unlike maybe wealth or fame, which can be fleeting, character, true inner dignity, is something you cultivate, and it provides its own reward, even if you don't achieve, massive external success.
Which brings us to ambition. She makes a direct appeal here.
She does, and she draws a really sharp line between different kinds of ambition.
Okay, what's the difference?
Well, there's ambition for purely selfish, gain more power, more money, just for you. That, she thinks, is fleeting and ultimately hollow.
Any other kind?
Ambition focused on doing good, using your drive and talents to benefit others, to make a positive contribution. That, she says, creates a lasting legacy.
She warns about ambition driven by negative stuff, right? Like pride or envy.
Absolutely. That's where it gets dangerous. She uses that fire analogy. Ambition is a useful servant, but a terrible master if it's not guided by integrity and justice.
It can become this endless chase for more that never actually satisfies you.
Precisely. That potential pitfall of always wanting the next thing, never feeling content. Fulfillment comes from aiming higher than just your own benefit.
Okay, nearly there. She also talks about dealing with disappointments, which, let's face it, everyone does.
It's universal. But her point is not to dwell on them. Don't let them define you.
So what's the alternative?
She suggests true success is actually a state of mind, finding satisfaction, even happiness, in just doing your duty, performing your responsibilities faithfully, even when things don't go as planned.
So external wins aren't the whole picture. If you're not content inside, the achievements won't fix it.
Exactly. It comes back to that inner resilience. Like a soldier facing the enemy, you need perseverance. You need to actively find ways past the disappointment, keep shaping your life.
She acknowledges that even good people face big letdowns, like maybe a grand project failing.
Right. It happens. But it's how you respond, how you carry on that reveals your character.
And finally, just briefly, memory.
Yes, the importance of memory.
Yeah.
He sees it as this vital link between our natural gifts and our intellectual ability.
So.
Well, it's fundamental to learning, right? You need to remember principles, facts, experiences, but it's also emotional.
Recalling good times or finding strength by remembering how you got through tough times before.
Exactly. She encourages reflecting on the past, the lessons learned. Memory is like this personal storehouse of wisdom.
And she notes it shows up differently in people. Some remember history, others literature, others personal details.
Yeah, it's diverse. But the core idea is to consciously fill that storehouse with useful, positive things. Lessons, inspirations, good memories.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, Dunigan's view on success, coming from 1919, really seems to center on these core ideas. Small actions matter hugely. Failure is actually crucial for learning.
Character is fundamental politeness from the heart, resilience through hardship, avoiding selfishness, controlling ambition.
Enduring difficulties, finding inner dignity, and using memory as a guide. It's quite a holistic picture.
It really is. And when you think about these ideas today, for you listening, well, a lot of it still feels pretty relevant, doesn't it? That focus on consistent effort, learning from mistakes, the value of integrity. These things seem timeless.
So maybe a final thought for you to take away. Reflecting on these century-old ideas, what's one small thing, one deliberate action you could take today that moves you a tiny step closer to your definition of success?
And maybe think about a recent setback. Could you reframe it not as just a failure, but as Dunigan might suggest, as a lesson, a stepping stone? Something to consider.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Guys, see you in another podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.